Apparently went far towards 1.0 here, and today we're going to do a quick review over the new patch notes. Now this came out yesterday by the time I was recording, but I was really busy yesterday and I was kind of sick, so let's take a quick look at what these new patch notes are. So, Hellldivers, John Presti here, now the Chief Creator Officer position at Hellldivers. I want to thank you, the community, for clearly voicing your opinions and concerns for the balance and fun in the game. With that, we have gone over a lot of weapons and strategy balance in our latest patch 1.000.400, and we want to share with you a little bit more information on the decision made with these balance changes on bust out some of the weaker strategies to make them more valuable and add more opportunity. Our frame rates and loadout change a few to make them more consistent, but the goal was to keep a similar or higher power level. Looking into the strategy more to see if there are other strategies that made these weapons changes to make them more valuable. Also want to explain why we're making the changes we do so you can follow our thinking. Base/MLS 4x Rocket Sentry. The old 10 was the saturated area rocket, but it made too inconsistent against me on large enemies. That was definitely true. That was definitely a problem with that weapon in particular. So to make it more consistent, we gave it better ammo economy to separate from the auto cannon sentry, which has higher damage and can waste ammo by shooting targets that are already dead. Which is to show you what that is. Shoot. Okay. Oh, hold on. That's actually really cool. Okay, so we can get a max of 250. Oh. Ooh, cool. Vehicle customizations. So that would be down here, possibly. Yeah, somewhere down here. Okay. So the yellow cannon sentry is the best in class. This is for dealing with medium to large enemies by using ammo, lots of it. And then the old rocket sentry used to fire 2 rockets to do damage against those, but it made it super inconsistent. So that's something cool to think about. And then the machine gun sentry, the first turret stratagem you could buy. Felt like the worst version of the Gatling sentry. One of them has different plays out in Topop. We lowered the countdown, makes it more available and most useful when changing positions often. That means you could call this in more often than the Gatling Sentry and be whenever you're doing missions. So in other words, you could call this in to go to a different area to draw damage towards that way while you do primarily sniper damage, whatever. Very good against swarms. And this is all for the sentries. Turrets in the game were a little too easy to kill, like bullets flying by in chaos situation. We have increased the durability factor of turrets to make them more resistant to smaller arms fire. Definitely a huge win. EMG, the ancient G emplacement. It was intended to defend a fixed position due to its mobility and drawback that presented. The slow rotation speed was a bit too much for additional drop fire. Therefore, they have increased rotation speed. That's pretty good. The anti-personal mine peel and the incendiary mines. So, they were supposed to be strong but violent way of blocking off certain approaches for a certain time. They're currently not very good at filling this role and be looking more in them in the future. For now, they increase the damage and to at least improve their effectiveness against targets that trigger them. That means they can do more damage against multiple types of enemies, which is good. Definitely going to need that for later on. Actually, let me make it. Actually, I could just simply scroll down to avoid that problem. And then the Orbital Gatling Sentry barrage. It was designed to be dealing with specific target. We wanted to make it better so target would be able to do more damage against harmful armor units. It's not very likely to outright kill heavy armored targets, and it should be able to soften them a bit. We are lowering the cooldown, make it more available, make it more competitive in comparison to equal stratagems. This means that, oh yeah, this is definitely a huge win because this makes it much easier to decide whether we want to use eagle stratagems or Gatling Sentry. Gatling Barrage, which is pretty good. And then the precise side, the standard use was used against spawners section that hasn't stopped the community from using it against pretty much everything. Therefore, made it a little easier to use against movie type by lowering its cooldown time. We're lowering the cooldown to make it more available and make it more competitive in comparison to Eagle Stratagems. Again, another huge win because Eagle Stratagems are very powerful because of their short cooldown. By decreasing the cooldown, is at least making more of the overall strikes. Those two very effective. The overall Overwatch 10 was a blocking area for George to kill most non-heavy armor units in the area. It was underperforming compared to other anti-chaff options we have very low rate use. Make a more attractive option, we lower the cooldown, which should make it more competitive compared to Eagle Stratagems. Otherwise, you can block large groups of small enemies with that, which is good for the lower difficulties. Higher ones, you are going to experience much more heavier units, so it may not be effective there, but still a good option. Down to 10mm rocket pods. Ones that could definitely take out Charger, but it has some inconsistencies. They were inconsistent dealing with main damage heavy armor enemies. The change were made to make it more consistent dealing with target, but it will still not be surefire way to outright kill them. It should, however, always soften up a target in some way. We're intending to hear feedback on the fields and tweaking them in the future. That's great. The strafing run. The Eagle Strafe Run is supposed to be a tool to effectively deal with bulk mean armor enemies. To that end, we increase its armor penetration to be able to reliably penetrate medium armor against off a heavy armor target. We expect to have to tweak it further in the future, as well the Eagle rocket pods were up to Inger feedbacks. Another way to pretty much allow us to fight better, and then the grenade launcher. Something I've seen many times in the field. The grenades tend to be good at something on ports of enemy project team for destroying spawners. Also good at destroying spawners, the explosion was a little too weak to reliably draw out damage remains. They changed explosive damage, putting in better place when it comes to dealing with hordes and more effective against some medium armor enemies. This is definitely good for the bugs, which are swarm based and will deal more. Hopefully that damage will be good for them. Ooh, the heavy machine gun. The one that everyone says wasn't that good. The NGG failed to deliver on the fantasy of heavy machine guns when it was released. It had weak rounds with low damage and impact. However, it was up to level most likely seen on smaller MGs. The NGG was designed to be a great option to deal with medium armor enemies and should clear them up similar to an HMG placement. We are allowing the rate of fire further to resemble the fire we're seeing contemporary, so similar types increase the damage and staggering so that each hit is significant and make the ammo last longer. Definitely good for trying to delay the swarm, which is good. The machine gun. This one should be a great crowd clearing weapon built to tackle medium armor enemies. Drawback of the machine gun was that you have to sit while reloading, and the main compete with the stalwart, therefore leaning into the training to reduce its drawbacks slightly to prove the value proposition of the weapon too, and we were lowering the reload time given an additional magazine. Also receive about 2 damage, subscribe below. Okay, so the family machine gun stratagems are that use the 6 8mm round where under pricing we had therefore increased damage slightly. Durable damage for rifle caliber, smaller environment getting does less damage to durable body part. However, many small arms were doing the same damage percent-wise, not for something large effect a rifle round would have compared to other types. Therefore, rifle type bullets are now slightly more against durable body parts. The changes are the Liberator, Stalwart, Guard Dog, Liberator Concussive, Diligence, Agitator, Tenderizer, Machine Gun Sentry, Gatling Sentry, and Patrol, Exosuit Gatling. That the last one definitely going to make the mech more effective. Durable body parts are generally body parts that have high amounts of mass with non-vital organs or a lot of empty spaces. The idea is simulate that single bullets have high chance of not doing significant damage. Okay, so in general, the higher your caliber weapon, the better the effect is against durable body parts. Evolution has a very high effectiveness against durable body parts as shockwaves ripple through wherever you're hitting. Some weapons are more effective than others and special. Following. Abdicator is relatively few rounds with each enemy attack with wide recoil, left players no room for error, which didn't feel good for assault rifle type weapon. Increased magazine capacity should make the weapon more forgiving of mistakes and encourage more aggressive playstyle. Remember, short control burst. Tenderizer was a non-represented state and was used in correct stats. It didn't show its needs and felt like a waste of effort, which showing just and bringing it back to its which is very precise assault rifle that ignores high played by having heavy hitting round that doesn't penetrate medium armor. Class 1 Purifier, the origin behind this was create a Scorcher variant with charge up mechanics. Unfortunately, this projectile didn't have enough armor penetration against medium armor. I mean, if you're in direct hit and deal enough damage to justify a long charge up time. Now, increasing the armor penetration, the projectile reducing damage fallout, these forces we hope to make it solid margin and then valuable and keepable hands. The crossbow from the explosive armory. Similar to the Purifier, the crossbow bolts didn't always do its full damage to the explosion, having lower armor penetration than the projectile. Making both projectiles to penetrate medium armor should make the crossbow more consistent against medium-sized target and increase its AoE variability. The Eruptor. I've tried this before, it was a lot of fun. If you want dedicated sniper playstyle, possibly we'll try that once more. But in one of the previous times, we removed the shrapnel from the explosion and made Raptor's ability to spike damage too much for primary weapon and for a survival weapon even. Its vehicle maximum was over 9,000 due to some unexpected interaction. We know that there are lots of good portion of its capabilities and additional damage don't make up for the loss of shrapnel. Adding shrapnel back is quite tricky because of the low visibility of shrapnel, which some create simulations where you and your fellow die with very little feedback of what's killed you. To compensate for that, we're giving Raptor 150 more damage per explosion to make it more consistent without introducing new edge cases. 10th was that it will change will make the Raptor fireable both against medium armor targets and crystal cannon falling weapons. Others is update recoil sound modifiers and 10 recoil modifiers which were uses different styles, different in relation to type weapons. These that because when we move around isn't doing your accuracy any favors, which is true. We made some changes to recoil stats, modifier to make them more consistent, overall being prone more, and it will show you how much weapon levels apply in different scenarios and the new values. Standing has no change. Crouching is decreased. Prone it is decreased. So 50 to crouching went from 50 to 60. Moving is 25% to 100. Stationary 50 to 40%, and then for scope, stationary 0 to 90%, 100 to 110%, stationary 75 to 60%, and then moving is 125% to 90%, and then from stationary 50% to 40%. Hopefully this gives you a little more insight how we were thinking, why we made the changes we did. I want to end this by saying that we are not done. We are continuing to refine improving the play experience to keep the game fresh. On behalf of the team, we appreciate your feedback and hope that you have assigned time checking these adjustments out. So that's the adjustments for the patch. As for the gameplay, so first of all, vehicle customization, Hellbox customization, and exosuit customization. As for why we have this is because of the new Viper Commandos, which includes the new weapons, new super credits, new Hellpod, throwing knife, which is a grenade slot. Okay, I was wondering about that. New boosters and a new secondary. So yeah, that's about it for changes to Helldivers. Okay, personal opinions on this update. I'm thinking that this update is going to be very good because we have definitely a lot of buffs, and these buffs are definitely going to help me out a lot in delivering democracy. We also get a lot of customization in this patch, which is really good for delivering more democracy, which is good to personalize for yourself. I'm hoping this more personalization will come later patches because I definitely love this more. And I think this is definitely a direction to go for Helldivers, like greater customizability and greater showing off of what you are more than anything else. As the micro should be about definitely showing off who you really are. That'll be it for today's video. And I hope to see you on my streams on Twitch, which is FireTwitch190. And take care and goodbye.